counter-offensive from Israel, and that is what's happening right now after the attack started this morning. Harini, I'm going to thank you for joining us, and we hope that you are, in fact, you and your family members and everybody there, do stay safe. This is a very difficult time for Israelis. I'm going to go back to Jonathan, who in fact continues to be with us. Jonathan, the failure of the army here is my question to you. Why did they not see this coming? The Israeli army, how did they not see this happening? How was that the militants, the terrorists there, enter Israel in this fashion and reach cities, attack residential buildings, attack civilians like we've seen in these very disturbing pictures, most of which we can't even put out? Jonathan.
Yes, I agree. The gruesomeness of the atrocities are too graphic to be shown to the public. Unfortunately, they are out on social media for the world to see. There are many, many questions that will have to be answered, and tough answers will have to be given by the IDF and the entire defense establishment to the Israeli public. How this happened. How did these terrorist organizations, how were they able to organize such a pre-planned attack? And how were they able to get into Israel like no other terrorist organization has been able to do before and kill, abduct, and maim Israeli civilians? But that is not the focus now. The focus now is to root out the terrorists, to close down the Gaza Strip, and to start to swiftly put into action a organized response by Israel against Hamas and any other terrorist organization that is part of this network. The level of violence that has been fielded against Israel is not something that we've seen before. This is unprecedented, and the Israeli response should be in par or on par with that level of violence against us. We're still in the very beginning of this event. We still don't know how many Israelis have been killed. We don't know if and how many Israelis are now in the hands of Hamas. Hamas claimed that they have 35 Israelis inside the Gaza Strip. If that is true, that is a strategic event. That is an event that cannot go unmet by Israel, and it must lead to a very significant large-scale military operation, and that is now what the Israeli defense establishment is doing. There are two more things that are important to keep in mind in these very difficult times. One is the other fronts, what's happening in the north and what's happening in Judea and Samaria and with Arabs inside Israel. These are things that must be monitored, because we cannot rule out that this is a premeditated multi-front attack against Israel, and not only from Gaza. And the second thing is how this plays out regionally. If this was orchestrated by Iran, then for sure the purpose is to ignite a regional war, probably in order to derail Saudi and Israeli normalization. And we must look at the greater strategic picture, not only at the graphics and the horrible, gruesome violence that we see on the streets, but we must ask ourselves, who is benefiting from this and who is orchestrating? If it becomes clear that these are Iranian actions, then I think that the response shouldn't be confined to Gaza and Gazan hands, but it should also go to those that have sent these murderers into Israeli streets.